Hello and welcome to another day on Cornwall Pocket Farm, where I try and figure out how to live sustainably on 300 square metres in the city. Today's video is the first one in a new series that I'm kicking off, which is all about the capsule wardrobe that I am creating. One of the impacts obviously that we have when we're looking at sustainability and things is our clothing and the industry, which is fashion. Currently at the moment there's a lot of fast fashion out there, which of course is very damaging, because if you think of fast fashion, essentially the clothes that you get are really cheap and they're designed to be thrown away, and obviously that cheapness is coming from the fact that you're not carrying the whole cost, if you like. A large part of that cost is a cost to the environment and the harm that it's doing to the environment. And of course the other piece is the cost to the workers, to the people that are producing that clothing for you, the terrible working conditions and living conditions that they endure, so that the item is cheap to you. And then obviously you wear it a couple of times, it falls apart, you throw it away. So for a long time now I have not been doing that, and I have been trying to wear recycled garments, things that I've bought from recycled boutiques or charity shops or second-hand clothing of some description, or I have tried to make those clothes myself. And when I make clothes, I try and I'm making them in a sort of slow fashion way, if you think about it really. I make those clothes so that they fit me, so that I really like them, so that I wear them for a very long time and I get the maximum use out of those clothes, rather than fast fashion, which is all about a sort of a quick endorphin hit, new thing, or wear it once, throw it away. I wear my clothes for a very long time. So that's sort of what I've been doing over time, and I suppose a little bit of starting at the beginning would be the sort of the history of my wardrobe. Sounds very boring, doesn't it? The history, well, when I started this journey, if you like, I came to it from a position where I had been working in an office full time. I continued to do that for quite some time when we started off this endeavour. But most of my clothes, bear in mind this is pre-COVID, most of my clothes were quite formal office wear. And I still have quite a few of those clothes in my wardrobe because I haven't really sort of got rid of them yet, but I don't wear them. The other portion of my wardrobe was clothes that I had because of the travelling that we did. We went on a year-long bicycle tour, and so I had clothing that I had from that travelling experience, and again those clothes were still being worn but were falling apart, have fallen apart slowly over time, and I didn't really have any clothing that was sort of appropriate for what I do now, essentially. So initially I went to some second-hand clothes shops and I bought a couple of things just sort of that I've been wearing in the meantime. This dress is one of them. I wear this dress a lot. It's very good, it's very comfortable, but I've realised that the things that I had in my wardrobe were not going to, they don't play well together, they don't work together. So I have this dress, but I don't have anything that'll go over it. So I find it very difficult to sort of layer, or it just doesn't work. So I thought, what would be really efficient, especially bearing in mind the trip we're going to take later this year, would be to put together a capsule wardrobe. So the first thing I did, of course, was to go to YouTube, and I did a whole bunch of searching on capsule wardrobes. And yeah, I suppose the results that I found from my research didn't really gel with me, because a key part, from my mind, of a sustainable wardrobe is making clothes that really feel like you, that you really enjoy wearing, that fit you really well, that you wear for a long time and you're not going to get bored of them. You can sort of mix them up in a variety of different ways, and you get new looks and new things to wear out of the same clothing, the same clothes that you have in your wardrobe, if you like. And that's the idea of a capsule wardrobe. But when I went to YouTube, pretty much everything I found was, well, first of all, it was based on multiple pairs of jeans, and I don't wear jeans, ever. I find them really uncomfortable, and since really my, oh golly, my late teens maybe, yeah, late teens, I think that was the last time that I had a pair of jeans, I just decided that they weren't for me. I find them very uncomfortable and I just don't like them. So I generally wear skirts and dresses, and if I do wear trousers, they tend to be sort of looser fitting trousers. So anything that was jeans based didn't really work for me, and also the colours tended to be neutrals. You know, you had to have like white and black and grey and beige, and that seemed to be it. Well, I don't think I wear any of those colours, do I? Well, not very much, to be perfectly honest with you. The colours that I wear are red and blue and green and pink and turquoise and other colours that I like. I like colourful clothes. So the capsule wardrobe idea was a bit, left me a bit flat from there, but I was keeping this idea alive. I wanted to do a capsule wardrobe. So I did a little bit more research, and eventually I actually got inspiration from vintage wardrobes, which is why I'm calling this series sort of vintage inspired capsule wardrobe, because really if you look at it, you know, a pencil skirt is going to be a pencil skirt, whether it's from the 1950s or the 1970s or the 2030s probably. It's a pencil skirt, an A-line skirt the same. I mean, there's only so much you can do with those items. They do tend to be the same. So when you look at pictures and runways and all those, they're just styling them differently. But generally the clothes that we wear fall into generally the same sort of patterns. And I've found that very much that when I do my sewing, I buy second-hand patterns from charity shops. They're really cheap compared to brand new ones, which are very expensive. And I find that I never do a pattern exactly how it is on the pattern anyway. I always mix it up. So it doesn't really make any difference where the pencil skirt comes from and what era the pencil skirt comes from. It's still a pencil skirt. So the thing that gave me inspiration was I actually started to find patterns from, say, the 50s and the 60s that, and I actually even remember them from the 70s and the 80s when I was starting to sew my own clothes. You used to get patterns where you would have a pair of trousers, a pair of shorts, a full skirt, a slim skirt, a jacket and a top. All of these things all on the same pattern, and they essentially were every element you needed for a capsule wardrobe where they would all go together. And I found a pattern like this on Pinterest, and I thought, oh yes, I remember that. And then I started to look more and more and more. And I also found some articles, because of course years ago, say, you know, in the 40s and 50s and 60s, people didn't have a lot of money and they didn't have a lot of clothes. It was sort of before this era of fast fashion. So people had much, much smaller wardrobes. So the clothes had to work much harder because clothes weren't cheap. You had to spend quite a lot of money on them, and they were expected to last for a long time. So people were quite clever about how they mixed up and how they used them. So essentially, years ago, people used to have more of a capsule wardrobe. So I took that idea and started to think about what that actually meant. What were the logical, practical, visual elements, the things that made a capsule wardrobe work and things that didn't work in a capsule wardrobe, which of course is where I'm at the moment. I have a few items that I can wear. They should go together, but they don't. So why don't they? Why don't these things that I have in my wardrobe form a capsule wardrobe? And so I did a lot of thinking around that and came up with a bit of a shortlist. Of course, the other issue is, where am I going to get these clothes from? Because I find that when I go shopping, if I go shopping, there are three issues that I have a problem with. First of all, it is size. I'm quite a small person, and so I don't find it very easy to buy clothes that fit my size. I'm also not a very standard shape, so I don't seem to be shop-shaped anyway. I don't really know anybody who is shop-shaped, but you know, I'd be very interested to meet the 9-foot 20-year-old Amazonian woman that all these clothes are made for. But anyway, so I don't really have much luck with the shape of clothes. The age of clothes is another issue as well, because yeah, you know, you go into certain shops and they're for the younger market, and then you go into other shops and they're for the older market, and so all of these things fight each other as well. And then the fourth thing is cost. If I find something that's for a smaller person, it tends to be in the cheaper teenage shops, which doesn't really suit me, so that doesn't work. If I find something that is sort of more of my age group, it tends to be way too big because it's made for bigger people. If I find something that does fit me, maybe it's sort of in the high-end shops, and then the cost is astronomical. So I don't seem to have much luck, apart from in the charity shops and second-hand shops, to be honest. Occasionally I'll find something there which is quite good, because I think it's been filtered essentially, because real people have actually bought the clothes that fit real people and then they have discarded them. So there is sort of a subset of clothes that fit real people rather than the clothes that are in the shops that don't seem to fit many people at all. Yeah, so I think I do have luck in the second-hand clothing market. But to some extent you are looking at luck there. You know, if you find a dress, there's only one of those dresses. You can't say, oh, I like that dress, but could I have it in a size up or a size down or whatever, because there's just the one thing there. So it's really luck if you find an item in the right colour, the right size, you know, of the form you want. Like, I'm looking for a dress. I'm looking for a fitted green dress with a boat neck. Chances of finding that second hand at short notice, along with all the other things you want, really hard. So I make most of my own clothes, because I can then specify exactly the fabric I want. I can specify the shape, the design. I can make it fit myself really well, and I can make it in a way that is really well made, so it'll last a long time. And obviously choosing the fabric, I can choose a fabric that is a quality fabric, which again is going to last a long time. So making my own clothes is sort of cutting out some of that impact. Obviously the cloth is still being made somewhere. I do get some second-hand fabric from charity shops, but again, limited choice, so not that much. So there is still the impact of the fabric itself, but the actual manufacture, the making of those clothes, I'm the sweatshop, not a place in another country where there's poor people and don't have a living wage. So to recap, I'm not a standard size. It's very difficult to shop anyway. So I'm going to make a capsule wardrobe, and I need to design that capsule wardrobe and figure out what is going to be in that capsule wardrobe. So how many items of each thing, what those items are going to be, what they're going to look like, and how they're all going to work together. I wear skirts and dresses and very loose trousers if I'm going to wear trousers, but I don't ever wear jeans. So the capsule wardrobe basically has to revolve around those items. I like green, blue and red, not beige, black, grey. I very rarely wear those colours. In fact, I don't think I actually have black in my wardrobe at all. The other thing is natural fibres. I prefer natural fibres in my clothes. I just prefer those from a wearable perspective. They feel nicer, they breathe with my body, and also, of course, remembering that synthetic fabrics essentially are plastic. So, and I try and avoid plastic as much as I can. And as I say, the inspiration that I've got for this is sort of leaning on these vintage patterns where they have like an entire weekend capsule wardrobe, say, in the one pattern. I'm going to take inspiration from those things and create my capsule wardrobe so it works like that. And one of the wonderful things I've seen about these vintage patterns is that they have what they call suits. It's quite ironic actually that what I'm actually doing is getting rid of my suits, because I don't wear suits, but what I'm actually going to be making is suits. But these suits are different. What they mean by suits is a matching skirt and top and, say, a jacket, and they're all separate and they can all mix with other things, but they're not as formal in structures as we would think of as suits. Essentially, suit was used as a term to mean the full outfit that you were wearing from your head to your toes, essentially, is your suit. These suits, of course, worked really hard. You would have a good suit that you would wear for a very, very long time. It would work really hard, and you would dress it up and dress it down. You would use accessories to add interest and add excitement, and you would change your blouse out, or you would do those types of things. So I'm using that inspiration, if you like, to try and to sort of create my capsule wardrobe. And when I thought really deeply, and I looked at all these vintage examples, and I thought also about the issues that I have had with the clothes that I own. I mean, I have these clothes. I have a small number of clothes that I'm wearing at the moment. They are a capsule wardrobe, presumably, but they don't go together. I don't have a cardigan that goes over this dress. I don't have this dress doesn't go with that jacket. I don't have a top that goes with the skirt. It's all these sort of random bits, because I found them secondhand and things that I owned and random things. They don't work cohesively together as a capsule wardrobe. And I've discovered through looking at all of this that there seem to be, as far as I can tell, 6 key elements, and I've called them the 6 C's. To succeed, you need 6 C's, is what I'm saying, really. So these 6 C's of my capsule wardrobe that I think are really critical to make a capsule work are, the first one, of course, is colour. All of the colours in the capsule wardrobe have to work together. The second C is cloth. So with this cloth, for me, I like natural fabrics, but if you don't like ironing, don't choose linen, or you like the crumpled look. So you really need to think about you and what sort of fabric you're comfortable with. The third one is cut. So one of the things that I've noticed is that the cut of an item is really important. If you've got something that's big and boxy and then you've got a close-fitting overlayer, you just can't put them on top of each other. So the cut of the clothing and how these cuts work together through layering, that's really important. The fourth one is collar. How your collars play together, your necklines I should probably say, how they play together is really important. If I've got this dress on like this, I could put over the top something that's got like a lapel type collar. When it was closed down, you would just see a line across here, so that would work. If I was going to put a cardigan on and it was a sort of an off the shoulder number, it would look a bit weird. So, you know, I mean, I'm generalising massively here, but the idea is the collars really need to work together. The fifth one, I think, is context, because you've got to think about the environment in which you're wearing your clothes. I could make the most gorgeous party dresses. I could have a wardrobe full of beautiful party dresses. And I'm sure the chickens would appreciate it, but it probably wouldn't be the most ideal thing to clean out the chicken coop. It might not be the best item to wear with Wellington boots while doing my vegetable gardening, but I think it would be quite fun, so maybe I'll try that. But yeah, what context is it, what's the weather like? Is it going to be warm? Is it going to be cold? What context are you wearing these clothes for? Are you going to be bungee jumping? Or are you going to be strolling around a city, being elegant and having lunch out? So the sixth C is character. So who are you? I mean, what's your character? How do you want to dress? How do you want to feel in your clothes? What image do you want to put forward to the world? You know, are you somebody that likes sparkly sequins? Do you like formal dresses? Do you like very casual clothes? Are you into athleisure? I don't know. You know, I mean, looking at Instagram, I mean, I've gone down some rabbit holes. I mean, you know, dark academia, new money, you know, there are so many style trends out there at the moment. They all seem to have slightly different ways of putting things together, but a pencil skirt is still a pencil skirt, an A-line skirt is still an A-line skirt. They're just put together and styled in sort of slightly different ways. So what is the character of your clothing? What do you want to look like? And obviously your capsule wardrobe should reflect that. Well, more than that actually, I think your capsule wardrobe should help you be that. Yeah, because I think the way you dress really helps you be who you want to be. Because of course when you meet people, they have a first impression of you and they will then respond to you in the image that you have given to them. So I think it's a form of communication really. So the character of your dress I think is a key element, and you need to work that out ahead of time rather than, oh, I really like that, let's make that. And we've all been guilty of that. We've all gone there. Oh, I really love that cocktail dress. You buy the cocktail dress. Do you go to cocktail parties? Well, no. But I've got a beautiful cocktail dress. Yes, we've all been there. We've all done that. So really, yeah, who are you and what are you trying to present? So that's a quick summary of all of the thoughts and ideas I've had around this, the research that I have done, and really sort of the background theory of it all, if you like. The next video in this series, I will have a look at how I have interpreted that and what is going to be in my capsule wardrobe. Which items have I got? How are they going to combine? What are the fabrics that I'm using? And then after, I have actually already made one of the pieces of the capsule wardrobe, so I shall have to show you that already made. But some of the other pieces I will explain sort of like my inspiration and what it's going to look like, and maybe a bit of the process that I go through to put that together. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you follow along for the rest of these videos. So I will see you next time. Bye.